Hi everyone, I'm Ajesh Nair and I have made this awesome car game in Unity with a very small development budget and with very limited coding. First thing first, here is the game I made. It looked very polished and commercial. I did this as a side project, so considering the budget and effort, it looks very good. So the game is still under open testing, so please go and try the game and share your review. It will mean a lot to me. So first, why did I created this game? So I started my game development as a game development career 4 years back. So first I started game dev as a job in some company, then I quit and then started as a freelancer. Then I was able to build a small team and a good client base, and I've made several games as a client service, but I wasn't able to make something for myself, my own company, because of many reasons. One of the main reason was time. I was doing a lot of client games, several games at the same time to build my company. So I didn't have a good budget or marketing team to promote my own games. So because making games and selling them is completely different things, and I'm good at the first one, making games, but very bad at the second one, selling them. So I didn't want to invest my money into some game that I wasn't able to give my full attention. So I started creating a very simple game just to start publishing some of my games. So it was a car game. So I grabbed some low cost assets, but the assets was really good and I created the game. So if you want to create something like that with very less time, budget and effort, I will tell you how I did it so that you can also have a step or a procedure to follow the same. So step 1, the concept. First I had a concept. I wanted to create a car racing game, but like tabletop racing. Tabletop racing is a car racing game in a miniature environment. So I wanted to create all miniature style environment with some toy cars, and it should give a feel that we are racing with the toys in the house. So that was my idea. So I made this rough demos of the game, and I tried it on mobile how it feels. So after a few prototyping, the game felt well, so I decided to proceed further. So important tip here, before you start creating any game, first make a minimum version of that game and test it with some real audience, maybe friends or family, but early feedback is a must. I have made this mistake several times with several of my games, that the games were good but it failed terribly, because games are very much platform dependent. So if some game feels very good in PC, it might not feel good in mobile. So this was my game. It was a game for my college project and it took 9 months to develop, and it earned just $0.5. So yeah.
$40,000. I'm rich.
The first step is to concepting and prototyping. Find a concept, simplify it very much, then create a basic prototype, and then start testing in the dedicated platform. So if you're making it for mobile, then test it in mobile. If you're making it for PC, test it in PC. Step 2, finding the assets. As we have a very low budget, we will not create any custom models or any other assets. So the best place to find the assets is Unity's asset store. There are several other places also. I will link them in the description. I found some great low cost assets for my game, some cars, some level, and I was ready to go. Tip here, if you are using a different variety of assets for a single game, so suppose if you are making a shooter game, then you have to buy the environments and the players separately. And the problem with this is that sometimes the assets don't match with each other. Suppose the environment is high quality models and the characters are low poly, then it looks terrible. I have did this mistake also in the past. So yeah, some assets will not match with each other in any ways, but some assets like my cars in the game didn't match with the environment in the initial stages, but with some little tweaks in the material and the shaders, they matched well. So if you are selecting assets for your games, then make sure first it matches with the overall style of the game. Sometimes you won't realize it, but it will make your game look weird if it doesn't match. And second, make sure the assets are optimized for your selected platform. I faced this issue of the environment that I used in my game was very high quality, and it had very high light settings and rendering settings, and my target platform was mobile. So I had to do some adjustment to lower the light and the resolution settings to optimize it, which I regret because the quality of the environment was very good, but I had to lower it down very much to support all the lower end devices. So make sure to select the right asset for the right platform. Step 3. Creating the mechanics. Creating the core mechanics or gameplay is the most time consuming and important task. If I take my game's example, my core gameplay was simply a racing setup with car, tracks, laps, etc. So there were two ways to build it. Number one, creating everything from scratch, all the core mechanics from zero, or use any pre-made plugin from the asset store to build the mechanics. So I made a car game for my client where everything was programmed from scratch, and it took nearly 2 months to develop it, the core. And in my current game, I'm using an asset from the asset store which took like 2 days to set up. So if you have less time and have less coding experience, then go for the pre-made plugins which can decrease the coding or the development time tremendously. Unity themselves suggest to not to make everything from scratch unless it is very necessary, because they want to make asset store more popular, I guess. But yeah, they suggest to use asset store more often. So tip here is, if you are using pre-made assets, good, but there is one problem with using pre-made plugins for the mechanics. So if you are using pre-made plugins, then sometimes customization becomes very difficult, as they are made for a very generic, they are being made as a generic plugin so that anybody or any project could use them. So if it results into a lot of unnecessary features and code. So when to use the plugin or when not to use the plugin exactly. First, if you are making a huge game or if it is going to be very complex in the future, then don't use it. Make everything from scratch, because using the plugin will make the work easy in the beginning, but in the future with more complex features it will become very hard and the code base will be messed up. Example, suppose if I wanted to make my cars fly or swim, then using the current plugin will make it almost impossible to do it, as it is hard coded just for the racing setup. So it could have been a big issue for the game. Number 2, if you are making a very simple tiny game, suppose if you are making a simple hyper casual game, then don't use it, because as I said, the plugin comes with a lot of unwanted features and code. It will add unnecessary complexity to the game. So example, if my game was a simple hyper casual game with very simple car controls and everything, then adding the plugin would make the code very complicated for no reason. So even the game don't use all the code, but all this code will be loaded into the game and it will run with the game. So maybe it maybe results into performance drop and increase the size of the build. So when to use the plugin exactly? So if you are making a medium sized fun game and the core logic is almost same as the plugin, so you don't have to do unnecessary coding yourself. And if you lack in time, or if you don't have the skill set to develop the functionality that you are trying to build, then surely go for the plugin. Step 4, adding other features. To make my game feel to the commercial standard game, I have added localization, notification, reward, chest system, store system, lucky wheel, in-app purchases, and most of the features that a good commercial game has. And I have also added many other cool stuff like super cool power-ups and lots of cars, more than 100 plus cars. To be honest, I regret it because I wasted a lot of time in building all this without even testing, without even releasing a soft launch. Because I found that some of the features were not necessary in the beginning stages of the game. Like one of the feature was John Wick power. You can call John Wick in the game. It plays a very cool entrance, a cutscene, and then he enters the race, defeats all the player. So it felt cool when I was developing it. Then I found that it was not very important to the game, and the feature didn't feel cool when it was popping while playing the game. So I wasted a lot of time in creating it, and I eventually removed it from the game. So my point is, if you are planning features for the game, then don't go all in. Instead of developing everything at once, do it one by one. Make a stable MVP version, a minimum version of the game, then release it, test it, then keep on adding while the game is in testing or while the game is already launched. So by doing that, you will not waste any time on any unwanted feature, because the features while you're developing it feel like, oh, it's going to be a great feature, this feature should be included in the game, but maybe the audience don't want that. Of course, this is for a mobile game and for an early stage developer, because if you are making a full-fledged indie game, then doing it step by step or breaking it down and releasing it won't work. It could be the worst idea to do it for a full-fledged indie game. Step 5. Packing it. I have pitched my game to many publishers and I have got many positive responses. If you want to know how I did it, I can give a detailed information regarding how I did this, how I pitched the game and how I got the deal and everything. So, and why you need a publisher to release the game, all that stuff, I can make a separate video. So after the game is completed, directly sending the game to publisher will not work, because they need to see the effort, not just the game. So how you can do it? So when I completed the game, I created some high quality screenshot, trailer videos, icons and a website, all that good stuff. Even though my game was not very cool, still I managed to get the attention by packing it very well with the other stuff. But seriously, my game is good. Don't think the game is bad. Please try it. So the tip here is, if you can't make it good, at least make it look good. So as Bill Gates said, but again, my game is good. I'm just mentioning the point. So pack your game in such a way that all the additional promo stuff and marketing material, so the publisher feel that okay, this is a commercial, well polished game. The topic is very broad, to be honest, how to do it and everything. So if you're interested, comment below, then I'll make a separate video that how you can do it. I've made a lot of research in this field, so I'll make a separate video for that. So if you want to know more about the game, what strategies I'm going to implement to make it a successful game in terms of marketing and publishing, if you want to know more about the coding side of the game, just comment down below. I'll make a dedicated video for all the topics that you want. I'm also planning to share my entire journey of this game, how I created it, all the details including coding and tutorial, and how I pitched it, my marketing plan, and if it fails or succeeds, then I will share the revenue numbers so that you can get a good idea regarding what you can expect from a normal game like mine. It will help you to plan your game, your next game. So if you like my content and want to learn more, then please show your support, like, share and subscribe, and I will keep posting more. I'm a very lazy person and I only do things under pressure. So if I get more attention in my videos, I'll be under pressure, then only I will keep on posting. So keep me under pressure, otherwise you won't get all the details. Just kidding, I'll keep posting. So please try the game and share your thoughts. It is still under open testing. So if you could test it and share your reviews, maybe here or in the Discord, or very good if you can directly share it in the Play Store and App Store. It will mean a lot to me. And so go try out the game, let me know what actually do you think about the game, and thank you for watching, and I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.